Monday night, time for some streaming. Let me go ahead and blare the horn out so everyone knows I am streaming.
What, in the house?
I'm talking to the stream, sweetheart. That's the south end. All right, we are in. We are ready to go. We are ready to play. We are ready to try and take it down. Last night we chopped to top two. It's Mr. Danny Moffat. We got ourselves back on the board. We've won. We'll call that a win. We've won 2 out of our last 3 tournaments. Unfortunately, neither of them were the bigger money tournaments, but that's okay. A win is a win, and a win is an upping of the bankroll, and we're happy about that. So, stream news, I've changed up. I have some new different views to look at here. We have the old, showed this last time, we got the old full webcam. We got the full screen. We got the old combo vertical deal that I'm mainly probably going to use for horse betting, but we got that there. I also ordered a new microphone from Amazon so that we don't have to use the microphone on the webcam anymore. So you will be able to hear my voice more direct, more clear, less static. You'll be able to hear my lisp much clearer.
Teeth and shape back to everything. I'm getting my teeth back to the shape because it's gonna look better.
Jack Queen, that was an interesting hand. All right, we got Jack Queen offsuit. We're gonna fold. That was quite the interesting hand there. Oh man. All right. Everyone was really itching to play some poker today. There's like there's like a dozen people asking, like 7 different posts about it. Like, hey, who's running the game tonight?
Also, Jada got really mad at me and put me on Do Not Disturb for showing me the picture. So she showed her mom. And I was like, why are you getting mad over a picture? You're the one who always tells me to joke and stuff. She's like, you don't know the difference between joke. You make me mad. And I'm like, oh. Oh, she kept getting mad because she was getting mad also because I kept saying okay.
Oh, look at that. Center with the old nuts. The old nuts for Mike Center. What a guy. What a guy. A lot of chips change. A lot of chips changing hands in this early going. Everyone wants to win the tournament in the first 10 minutes. Good for them. Everybody wants to win the tournament in the first 10 minutes. But what do we know, viewers? We know you can't do that. If you watch the stream, we know you cannot win the tournament in the first 10 minutes. Just not possible. Just not possible. Okay, just making sure that, okay, good. The for some reason the stream elements post didn't come up that we are live in action, baby, in action. Let's go. What are we doing? All right, we got ace nine offsuit on the button. Good stuff here. We'll bet it. We'll make it. Let's make it 95 to go. See, this is chill, relax, chillax mode. Leaning back in the seat, earbuds in, raising pots, winning pots. Not interested in getting into any crazy hands right now. Chill, man. Just like the title says. Commentary and chill. I had planned on. I never streamed the afternoon game, but there's always almost always a afternoon 2 o'clock game for $25. And I um, usually play that. I don't stream it because um, it'd look bad streaming during a time when I'm on the clock working. That wouldn't look good. But I usually play, usually multitask, doing work, putting on enter the tournament. Um, kind of lost track of time and just wasn't able to enter this afternoon. But all that means is I'm good to go, ready to go for tonight. This is just a standard friendly reminder. If you're watching the stream and you like what you see or you hate what you see, click the follow button and follow. Or if you have any questions, not even necessarily about poker, maybe about life, maybe about TV, any questions like that, feel free to ask them. We're you know we're one tabling these tournaments, so we got to fill the gap somehow with chat and um, whatever commentary, chat, bullshitting around, whatever floats your boat. So Jay Eason has had these crazy hands already. And we're again we're 15 minutes in. So we have jacks. We're gonna make this. Let's go to 35. Let's make it 135 to go. So just to recap, Jay Eason had 3 king suited from early position under the gun +1 and ended up taking that hand down. Queen high on the flop, but we're going to c-bet to see if we can take it down. And we get re-raise. Not a big deal. We'll let this go. Remember, your hand's only as good as basically what you flop with it. We're gonna fold this. We have Jack Queen suited, but we have an immediate open under the gun. So just to return to what I was saying, so this player here, Jay Easton, had 3 kings suited and took down that last pot. Was it 2 hands ago under the gun +1? Just a mental note of that situation. I don't recall exactly what happened pre-flop, but even calling with that under the gun +1, even if it wasn't any raise, it's pretty loosey-goosey. #6 offsuit, we're gonna fold. Pretty loosey-goosey. All right, so Bobby and Jay Easton are tingling again. It's interesting. See, and this is you got to, yeah. Bobby knew better that time. He had a good hand, but again, it's a loosey-goosey play. Had top pair, but with no kicker, and lo and behold, you just kind of give away a bunch of chips. So you got to be careful about stuff like that, even with top pair. Again, I'm not a big fan. We got ace-8 suited. We're gonna check it with a big blind. We flop a 4 flush, so we'll check it. We're not super interested in We'll tangle with Jay Easton this time. Just a little small bet. We have a draw to the nuts, so why the heck not? All right, we have the flush now. We are going to re-raise here. All right, so what we know is that Jay Easton has a bad problem valuing hands properly. So we're going to name a price that we'd like to see get called. Nothing too crazy, but you know, one of these bets should get us to where we need to get to. We win the pot. Don't know what they had, but I mean, that player's calling really light, so they could have had like I don't know, like a pair of jacks or something. So so you never, you know, you're not supposed to get upset. Like you see this a lot with amateurs or people that don't play all too often. They'll be like, "Oh man, you're just a calling station. You call too much, man. How can you not fold that?" Um, totally like the wrong way to go about that. If you see someone playing loosey goosey, don't number one, don't try to bluff them. That's stupid because obviously they're calling a lot of stuff. But B, just when you get it in against, when you get against them, and you get a good hand, I mean, make them pay. Make them, you know, if they don't understand value and they have like any semblance of hitting that hand, they're going to pay you much more than you can name a big price and they're going to pay it. So take advantage of it. Don't get frustrated about it. Take advantage of it. You know, put it in the mental Rolodex and take advantage of it later. I mean, for the person at the table that thinks everyone is bluffing all the time is usually probably like the biggest fish at the table because they don't make proper reads on hand value, um, like equity, things like that. And it's just very easy to exploit players like that. I would fuck the nuts. Again, the one thing I mentioned also in other broadcasts, like I wasn't interested in playing that hand, and you can't just get extremely wrapped up in situations where it's like, oh man, if I would have called, I would have had a boat. Number one, the way the hand is played is going to dictate how you play the, you know, whether you call or raise or do anything pre-flop. So, like, yeah, if you have 3 jack offsuit under the gun, you're supposed to fold that. And if the flop comes up 3 jack jack, you know, oh well, that's just how it goes. Like you can't just you know, you can't just hope you have, to hit Yahtzee every time. Plus, on top of that, in situations like that, there's basically no chance you're going to get paid. Just like none. You have three jack and you flop three jack jack. The only action you're getting is from somebody with a jack, or possibly like an overpair, um, and maybe an underpair, um, maybe like eights, nines, or tens on an underpair. But the moment you show interest on such a dry, non-draw board, a good player is going to take stock and say, okay, well, um, this player almost clearly has interest in here. I'm going to slow down. Um, so you're not going to get any value from from even normal or average players if you flop good stuff with such like a lousy hand. And then like again, you're also playing it out of position, so you know your chances of being able to build a pot properly and get full value out of that is minimal. Um, it's just not going to. It's just highly unlikely to lead to the road of um, getting a lot of chips or getting max value out of a crummy starting hand. Again, look at this. From my mouth to God's ears, I'm talking about three jack offsuit from under the gun. And what the hell do I get dealt? Three jack offsuit from under the gun. That's funny and creepy, but mainly funny. But again, so like let's say I'm like, oh hey, let me call that. Let me be an asshole. I'll call that, and hopefully it'll get all the way around. And then the flop would, I'm hoping for, like three jack or three jack jack. And the only time I get any kind of value from that is if someone had the case pocket threes. So they would have the remaining two threes in the deck, and they'd have the under, um, they'd have the losing end of an absolute cooler. Or if someone else has a jack with, something more worthwhile, they'd give you action, but, they'd also have the potential again to outdraw you with their other with their remaining hole card, and then it's a disaster. And then you ask yourself why the hell you're getting in hands with Jack 3 and how that's et cetera, et cetera. All right, we have Ace Jack suited in the big blind. There's a 3x raise. He gets folded around to us. We're gonna call 2-6 queen. Nothing particularly juicy on this flop. Check it back. Just check back to us. 2-6-7, again, nothing particularly of interest. It's really too early in the tournament just to be taking hard stabs at stuff like this. We'll check it back. If he wants to bet on the river, that's fine. Yes, ace king. Not. It's it's noble to try and want to win or take down every single pot you're involved in. But if you're not even remotely close to getting the best of it, um, putting extra money in a flop's just silly. Like there's like 300 chips in that flop. That's not making me or breaking me or putting me, anywhere of interest in the first 30 minutes. So, you know, let it go. You don't mind seeing the the showdown with ace high. You call the 3x bet. It's It's just simple moves like that. Again, can't win it in the first 30 minutes, but you can damn sure lose it or make it much more difficult than you want it to be in those after 30 minutes. All right, so we have 10s on the button. 3x raise from Heather. I'm going to flat call this. Certainly, like a re-raise isn't too bad there. You know, to make sure everybody gets out and we're in position. But I'm not super interested in building a hefty pot with 10s. All right, so Heather min bets. We're gonna make a little mini raise here. She calls. We still have an overpair to the board. She could have a lot of things. Let's check it. We still have our overpair. We still have our overpair, and we want to see the showdown. She can easily have like Ace X suited with diamonds. She definitely played it like that with a blocker bet. But with an overpair, we're going to call this. It's just too lucrative for us, just too good of a hand to just fold here. And we take it down. Also of note, this early in the tournament on a hand like that, I think I had it with like what? So I had Ace Jack suited. I think I had Ace Queen earlier this tournament. I don't even remember, but like, let it go, let it go, just fold, let it go. It's too early. It's too early to be getting cute with like hands like that. Like, what am I? I mean, yeah, it sucks, but after the flop, there's no entitlement to the pot whatsoever based on what your cards, based on the value of your cards pre-flop. None. On a 5-5-8 board, AK is doo-doo. You have no, and especially if you have no flush draw, yeah, you got nothing. So release it. So you have jacks. I had jacks early on that queen high flop. Guess what? Jacks is a solid hand pre-flop. Queen and overhits the flop. Guess what? My jacks are as good as sixes, sevens, eights, nines, tens. It's nothing. Let it go. All right, 9-10 offsuit. When we start to get later in the tournament and it starts to get shorthanded and the blinds become more valuable, I'll open this as you may have seen in previous in last night's tournament if you watched that broadcast. Here though, we'll let it go. We're 8-handed at the moment, and the blinds aren't worth stealing, so no reason to open some silly hand. All right, we got queen, ace queen suited. We're under the gun +1. You know, we don't like the position we're in, but we definitely have to raise this, so we'll make it 175 to go from here. Make it 175 to go. We win the button. Remember, that's always goal number one when we're racing like this. We want to make sure we have position on everybody. And it gets folded around, so we'll take it down. Fold, fold, fold. Take a glance at who's doing what on the leaderboard. Mr. Neil Santos is out already. Let's see. Bud's in 8th. Brod's in 14th. Heather is, the host Heather is short stack at the moment. All right, we got 2-4 from the big blind. Center raises it up. Fold it up. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Bold. And Roland's basically just telegraphing he's got either a set or 2 pair. So like pocket 3s, pocket 6s, ace 3, ace 6. If you have just a raw flush draw, you are, or something silly like 4 or 5, you're really in trouble. I just get this gut feeling that Jay Easton has like ace 7 or something. Wow. That's just ugly. And so that's ugly. That's terrible. But and Roland had much the best of it on the turn. But to that same point, you know, that's why you want to control the pot in certain situations. Like it's great, like it's great to back somebody in a corner and and have the best of it there. But again, it's early and it's easy to back somebody in a corner, and then you know they're like a rabid raccoon. You back them to the corner and they just claw your face off. Because they don't know how to do. I mean, they don't know any better. Um, and I mean, Roland was building a big pot there with top pair, and that you know even though he had the best of it, it increases the variance, and then someone wants to you know call with a flush draw, and it gets there. It's problematic for sure. Okay, I got Jack A suited. We're on the button. We're just going to call it. There's two calls in front of us. Again, early. We're not looking to steamroll. We're looking to keep these pots manageable. Just like just to segue into what I was talking about, based off the last hand. Two king king. It's a rainbow. Gets checked around. I'll check it back. Ace hits the turn. So we have a small bet. We have a call. Based on the sizing, I have to go for the call here. I'm in position, and the size is just basically what I was gonna bet anyway. If Bobby or Palma is soft playing a king or soft playing a huge hand, which is perfectly possible in the blind, um, then then we definitely have to let it go. But um, it's also possible Roland is soft playing a king. Since he has such a small stack, I mean he probably would plan on getting it in anyway, and checking the flop and then flatting the turn would be a sensible move to make. Queen on the river, get a check. Yeah, we'll call Roland here. I mean, it's possible he has an ace. I mean, it seems really like a king, but it'd be really silly for me just to fold ace jack here. So we'll call it. Jason probably has like 2-5 or something stupid. And yeah, Roland has kings. Makes sense. So we have queen king offsuit. We have the we have the calling duo to the right of us. We'll let this one go. We'll sit the hand out. So yeah, I like to think I'm good at poker. I'm definitely not fold ace jack in that position. Last hand good. If the raise size is different, if he goes all in, or the sizing is a little larger, we probably find a fold there. But here we're not terribly concerned. We call the 300 or so, and then we move on with 5. It's also a good lesson. Like, don't beat yourself up if you see something like that. If you're like, man, I knew I shouldn't have called. Man, I knew I was losing. Well, the bet sizing and the pot size should dictate, whether you're making a good call or not. Like, if he would have shoved all in on me, or if he would have bet the pot or over bet the pot, whatever the pot was, like I think it was like 770 or something. Then I go, okay, then I kick stock, but he bet like half the pot, maybe a little more than half, and yeah, I'm not folding top pair there. So yeah, like Jay Easton here needs to like chill, and you need to take stock in the table. Like, I mean, if you don't think, like, Jerry always has it. Hi, Jerry. Maybe not always has it. She has a good amount of time, especially early. She's not, Jerry's not going to just put chips in the middle on the late streets without having some, semblance of a good hand there. What is this, man? As soon as I said 3-jack offsuit under the gun, what is this? I'm gonna have to make a fucking Twitch highlight about this, because that is creepy, uncanny, silly. I mean, again, 3-jack under the gun. How about I have aces under the gun? And how about I have kings on the button? And the queens in the big blind? I mean, if I'm just going to call out hands that I can have in certain positions, then by all means, let's make them good hands. Calls way too much. Don't bluff. Ooh, got the old ace king suited here. Ace king suited. We'll make it 240 to go. We're gonna play this in position. Make it 3x. If someone we know calls a lot, they'll call because they've always called. Then we'll play a flop. Gets checked. Yes, we're not gonna check. We're gonna check back because this person just calls anything, and we don't have it yet. Especially on a board like this, like, oh, I got a 7. We'll let it go. Probably had like 4-7. We're folding. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We have 8-9 suited. This is a good one to see the flop if we can get it cheaply. Ooh, is it going to be community pot? All right, it's full-blown community pot here. Friendly pot, friendly pot. I mean, with 8-9 suited, I mean, doesn't get any better than everybody just calling. Everybody called. Everybody called. No good for us, so we'll fold. At least no good when the pot's like 7-handed. Whoops. That's 11. Who's in 11? Flush gets there. Same with Jack Ace gets there. Lots of hands get there. Alright, Queen King suited. I almost wish I just didn't get these middling hands. This is like not a good table for middling hands. Like I want premiums. I want premiums or I want garbage. We get to act in position here, so that's good. We flop top two. I mean, it's good flop. We are going to let our interest be known. We're gonna put the Interstate 395 here. We're inviting jacks to call. Anyone with a jack. We're inviting flushes to call. We're playing it in position, so if either one of those things get there, we're not like terribly bothered by it. So the jack gets there. We'll think about it a little bit. Check it back. And we'll fold this. If Mike Center is good enough to bluff here, then flops to him, but he's going to have a jack. Ugh. Probably like 10 jack or something. I mean, our hope on the turn is to check back and spike our queen or king. And it's also possible he has like ace. He has ace high 2-pair, which has his beat also. That's less likely to bet out there, but it's possible. sixes. We'll flat call this one. So far, there hasn't been a propensity for anyone to force open a call early. So, all right, we get to Jason surprise calls it. We have sixes. We're gonna set mine here. I'm gonna call this. See if we can get a six on the flop. We don't get a six, but we have a flop that's really conducive to sixes. I'm gonna check here because if Bobby leads a little bit and Jay Easton calls, all the more reason for us to call with our sixes. All right, so we're gonna float here. We're gonna float one card. We're gonna float one. This should kill the action. There's a lot of draws that get there. This should be an action killer. Unless he has the hearts. Yeah. No, Bobby's good enough to bet in spots like this. I can't go for it out of position. I may be leading at that point, but like if the eight gets there, or the other part, then I'm like calling there would just be inviting myself to have an impossible decision on the river if he has something big, like if he had a flush there already made. So basically, we'd be setting ourselves up for a horrible tank very early in the proceedings. We are on break. We had a good start to it. Gave a little back in a couple hands. Nothing I'm particularly bothered about. We'll come back and see what's going on. What time is it? My microphone has shipped. It will be here tomorrow. That's good. Let's see what is going on at Australia. We still have our $200 bullet at the Australia race, although they don't start racing until 9:30 tonight. Yeah, we got plenty of time till then. Maybe we'll be betting, maybe we won't. We don't know. Hopefully we're still in the tournament, and hopefully we're taking it down or something to that effect. Um, getting deep in tournaments is much more fun to watch, um, Twitch wise, and not getting deep in tournaments. Although I don't mind commentating, but I'd rather be commentating hands that I'm involved in, and not hands that I'm just watching. Oh, I should probably get something to drink before the game starts back. All right, guys, we're about an hour in now. Our stack is just short of the starting stack. Nothing to be excited or concerned about. Um, we still have 40 plus big blinds, so definitely plenty to maneuver and goof around with. Two 6-10 on the flop with two hearts. We get a call. Let's see how this one pans out here. Now there's a four flush. Uh, uh, Alright, so we have 3 king suited. It gets folded around to us. We are going to raise it up. Um, if we get called, it's okay. We get to play the position. If we get re-raised, so be it. We'll let it go. Not a big deal. But it goes through, so we just collect it up. Not a biggie. Ace-8 offsuit. Heather min raises. We're going to fold. Alright, we have Ace-5 offsuit. We'll fold here. If it got folded to me, I would have opened, but with a call ahead, it forces me to increase my opening raise amount instead of kind of the instead of the smallish like 225, 250, 2.25, 2.5x range I'd want to raise. Because if someone already called, a proper opening would be more in like the 3.25x range, and Ace-5 offsuit is just not enough to open and play that kind of hand. And as you can see, a lot of the people playing are just kind of calling with some doo-doo to see some cards, which is, okay at this point in the tournament. But if you don't...
Dad, how's your live stream?
Live stream's going good.
I'm my dad's social media director because he really don't know how to work it.
Well, you don't have to be mean about it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You can just say you're helping me.
I'm helping my dad with social media.
Because I'm not as good at it as someone younger than me.
Because he's not that good at it. No, because there's old people that do it well. Look, you happy? I'm getting my top TV stood again.
Yeah, well, I'll be happy until we go to the orthodontist again, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have to remold it and have it cost like another $400."
Hello. Not now, Dad.
What?
You say hi.
Oh. So, making soft calls in early going, not really a big deal. Obviously, we're all like at least 40 blinds deep. That's called your uncle, sweetheart. Your cousin's dad. Oh, that's funny. I got Ace-9 suited. We're in the big blind. It doesn't get raised, so we're in a good spot to just check this one. 4-4 king. Nothing spectacular for our Ace-9. We'll check it. Honestly, I'm not interested in playing with either of these people. Just based on the way they play, they call a lot. So taking down taking down pots on flop bets just doesn't seem of particular use there. Um, but yeah, so we're all very deep so far with a large amount of big blinds. So you can call fairly indiscriminately and play out and see hands with some doo-doo. I got 3-10 suit. I'm going to fold. But if you keep doing that as the blinds start to go up, the blinds start to go up, and the number of big blinds you have on your stack goes down. It becomes more and more important not to make said calls and to be very discriminate with how you utilize the chips in your possession. Um, it gets real hairy real quick when you lose a hand, and maybe it's just a call, maybe it's just a call, and then you give up on the flop. But what used to be one big blind out of 50 that you had behind is suddenly I should say, like, what was before like 5 big blinds out of like 70 you had behind suddenly becomes 5 big blinds out of 30 you had in front of you. And it only takes a couple of those before you get into real stack problems. And then people are playing, people are being more tighter and aggressive with their ranges, so the hands they're playing are better. And if you're still calling fairly light, you get into spots where you may have top pair, but your kicker is going to be no good, and then you lose even more chips because of that. But it can be tough. I mean, it's a tough game. It's a tough game. You need to understand these spots well. All right, so I have ace queen suited. It's a good hand. We're gonna go. Maybe a little over 2x. Bobby calls on the button. Fold. Jerry folds. All right, so we have 2-3 jack. We have a 4 flush, which is good for us. We are going to lead it out. And Bobby folds. Another one of those types of spots, like I want to semi-bluff that. Like I have a draw to the nuts, and I want to play it aggressively. If he has a jack there, even better, because he's probably going to want to play it, but he's not going to want to play a big pot with it. So even though I'm out of position, I'll be able to dictate the action a little bit better if he does wake up with a jack there. But we are in a good position to semi-bluff we can lead out. We can lead out, and if he re-raises us, we can get it all in. We don't really want to check because there's a lot of equity in just betting out and taking the pot down. We already raised it up. We already got some. We already built up the pot a little bit, but the turn could just be really silly, stupid for us. Like if it does put out the flush for us, the likelihood of us getting a good big pot from it is minimal. But if we don't make the flush, and suddenly we had ace queen, and so there's there's a jack on board. A king shows up on board. or the board pairs one of the lower cards, or something to that effect. There's a lot of scare cards that would be that would exist to make the turn in the river much more difficult playing just out of position. 4 king offsuit under the gun. We're gonna fold.
Are you sad now?
No. Hello, Badger6. Thanks for chatting it up. If you're interested, feel free to follow the channel. Just a guy in the home game, one tabling on PokerStars, from the US of A. Alright, we got 7-9 offsuit from the big blind. There's been a lot of movement on the chip front. Palma, 3X's hit, we're going to fold. Action was a little fast and furious early. Not really. Kind of standard stuff, but in the last 30-35 minutes, no one's been getting a big chip stack or getting eliminated from the tournament. 2 queen suited, we're gonna fold this. I think 2 queen offsuit. Three queen offsuit. Yeah, I mean, we're still not at a time yet where stealing the blinds is really a notable increase to the chip stack. So we're gonna let this. Even if it was folded to us, we probably would have let that one go. So center raises it up a little more than 2x. Jay Easton calls. We now have a flush on board, or 3 flush on board. Easton calls again. Little half pot bet. So now we have 2 fairly short stacks here, Easton and Heather. I have 6 ace offsuit. It gets folded to me, so we're gonna open the betting. 325. So the flop is 6-10 queen, and this is so we have bottom pair, but we also have the backdoor nut flush draw in case we get pretty crazy. We're going to follow this up with a bet here. We're going to make it 350. So this is it's notable that this is the second time that Bobby looked us up after we opened. And so he lets this one go, and I know Bobby's good enough to make a mental note of I've c-bet him twice. The first time it was very legit. I had the nut flush draw, Um, this time it was a little more iffy. It gets through also, so we need to be aware that he probably won't be as kind to us the next time he's in position. Just got to be aware of it. I mean, it's not a hard and fast rule, but just just be aware of nobody likes to be big boyed too many times in the same spots. And Bobby's good enough so that he doesn't he wouldn't let that get to him, but also that he knows that we can't have it every single time. So all right, 3-5. Okay, so we have the sailboats. We're under the gun. Usually, usually I'd either just flat call or I'd say, okay, let's open it up. But like Jay Easton is a short stack, and I'm not interested in losing a shove here. I mean, there's also everyone else in the hand that could that could have something, but I'm just not interested in seeing it all in amongst potential other situations. All right, we got a little something something. All right, so we have ace queen suited. We have a bunch of callers. I want to ISO Jay Easton here, so we're gonna go exactly 820. Um, you know what? Never mind, because Bobby flatted from under the gun, so we're just gonna check this. Check. So we checked around. So checked around again. Suddenly, suddenly this hand looks pretty DT. We'll check this around too. You may call. I mean, you may call whatever. We may get a call. I mean, no one's calling if we bet it out. We definitely don't want to be re-raised there. Um, so yeah, I mean that's kind of how it goes. The interesting thing is just the way the hand ended up playing. It was probably the best case scenario for me because it just got checked around a bunch of times. Um, Whereas if I would have raised and just had a miserable looking flop, somebody would have been able to possibly pull the rug out from underneath us. Yeah, I thought Bobby there may have been setting us up for a little trap, or setting somebody up for a little possible trap, because he flats and a small stack you would expect at some point to shove, and then there's a possible, you know, possible caller here, and then he reshoves, and we're putting in a terrible spot. So that's there's that. Of course, we also would have had the opportunity to reshove, uh, our ace queen suited. But again, Bobby's not the type to regularly call, just flat call under the gun. So it certainly was something. Certainly was a cause for pause there. We got 7-10 offsuit. I'm gonna fold it. Okay, all right. 10 queen offsuit. Not a particularly spectacular hand, but um, would be enough to open the pot with, and it will. We will open this up with 325. If you're watching this and you're wondering, you're like, man, sure does open for, um, he sure opens a small amount a lot. I mean, I do it because I can get away with it. It's basically the minimum. It's a lot of people are apt to call a min bet, but as soon as it becomes more than a min bet, suddenly people start to think twice about it. So it gets checked around to us. We had opened a pot. It gets checked around to us. We have top pair. We're going to go with a leap year bet. We're going to bet down to 366. And this is weird. So Jerry raises us, and then Heather calls behind. So it's pretty obvious what we have here. At least one of these hands is better than mine, so I'll let it go. Yeah. All right, so we got 9, 10. Let's fold this. Oh my goodness! We're about to go back to two full tables, which is good. Which is good. It's also so of note. There is like when it comes to Heather. Heather should have jammed all in on that betting sequence. You got a four flush, but you have a nut. If you have a nut flush draw, um, there's just entirely too much equity to leave on the table uh, with your nut flush draw on that board. You have the raise, you have the re-raise. I mean, I would, you get it in there on a semi bluff, and that's probably the best case scenario because you can easily draw out for the nuts to win the hand. But you also have the possibility of just scaring people off the pot with a hand that's not made yet. King Jack offsuit, no raises. We'll check it. And it seems like every flop I've had where I had like a respectable hand in the big blind, I've kind of pooped out on the flop. That's not any good for us. Jesus. Alrighty then. Oh, 10 jack offsuit. I got 100 to call in the small blind. You know, the hope is that Bobby just checks it, smooth check from the big blind. We flop middle pair. Not particularly interesting here. Gets checked around. We are going to bet a little more than minimum. We're going to check and hope Heather bets out, and then we're going to snap call it. But she doesn't bet out, so that's fine for us. What we really didn't want is, we probably should have checked. There's a lot of hands she's calling in. All right, ace jack on the button. Okay. Let's make it a little. Make it 4:55 to go. At this point, Bobby's really just kind of sick of our shit. Like, every time. Oh, God. That's funny. Oh, man. So we know Bobby's capable of opening a little lighter than usual because we've opened the hijack like every single time, and he's called and he's tried to play us out, and we see bet like every time to take big multiply. My guess is this is one of those bets where he's like, I'm tired of your shit. 6:45. So much super short. Do I call this? It's kind of a tough. It's a tough spot. It's an interesting, tough spot. Let's see the blinds on. All right. We'll fold. We'll show him. We'll show him that. Listen, we respect your raise. Yeah, would have been. Yeah, no, I don't doubt it was probably the right decision. I know Bob's well aware of sizing and that sort of thing. To but it's awesome. All right, so we get a 3x, 3x open. We got king, so obviously we're playing it. I don't like the sizing to just 3-bet here, so we're just gonna shove. Um, any non-shove just seems super fishy. Shove here. Maybe we can get calls from like jacks or queens or tens, which we have absolutely crushed. And this is a person who likes to call pretty light, so we get that. So we're up to 6,200. And that plays well for us because that sizing, and that's why I don't 3x a lot, because you give up way too much. You give up way too much when you have to fold. We're gonna raise our ducks. So Jerry calls, Heather calls. It's a good pot. Like so Heather checks to me. I want to bet this. And I take again. That's really good. Really good there. But yeah, back to the Bobby exchange. It's I know in my brain it is 100% the correct move to fold there. The only reason it makes me difficult is if it's a player that gets easily upset or frustrated, or obviously frustrated when you raise when you raise him in tough spots like that. Bobby's a much better player than that, so he is unlikely to be 3-betting wide enough there with hands that aren't at least in very good shape against Ace Jack. But because I've been aggressive, it is enough to make me think that he may be, you know, very in tune to that I've been, raising light or perceived to be raising light. Fives, I'm gonna fold here because I don't want to be. I don't like the short stack here. It can get easily ISO'd and into a troublesome spot, especially with this character Corona Pirate up there, who always seems to get me into freaking trouble. But yeah, Bobby's too good to pick fights when we're still 2 tables out of like the money. Um, maybe when it's shorthanded and it's near, when it's near the end of the near the bubble, or we're in the money, he'll play back, but play back much lighter than Ace Jack, but there he's almost assuredly good. Two king with the 2 clubs out there. Bud with a C bet. Mr. Himmler with the quick call and then check. Bud checks it back. Quick check. What is Bud going to do here? All right, I have 5 king from in the big blind, and it gave me a walk. That's some Twitch luck, man. You get, you live stream, you get a lot of walks. I appreciate it. I'll take it, man. I will take it all day long. Jerry's all in. Good luck, Jerry. A friend of the stream, as we like to say. A good friend of the stream. She will not get a call from me, though, so maybe she'll get a walk. Maybe Bobby will fold around. A fold round would be good here. There's a good amount of chips in the middle already. We're definitely starting to get to the point where the big blinds, or the blinds plus the ante, are of note. There's definitely good reason to try and steal them when the opportunity arises. Oh, we have a mid-raise, and then we have a Mike Center 3 bets. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. And I will give credit where credit is due. Mike Center's poker play has been much improved since previously when I've seen him play. He's added a little more depth and dimension to his game. We still make fun of him because it's funny, but his game is much better than it was than I recall a couple of years ago. But under the gun +1 opens the pot. You get an all-in from the small stack. I will fold. Queen King against AK. All clubs. 4th club. And an ace on the river. Seven jack offsuit. There's a raise in front of us. We'll fold. Big stack takes it down. Let's see what we got here. 310 offsuit from mid position. Don't let it go. These raise sizes are stupid. Alright, so we got suited 6-9. We're gonna open this pot. We don't want Jerry to move in on us. It's possible, but we'd like to avoid it. So we get a re-raise here. Obviously, a 6-9 not enough to call. We'll Hollywood a little bit, and then we'll fold. So Palmer just said he could have had anything, but he said he had pocket jacks, which is exactly what we want to hear, because we want to know that people are only 3-betting with like premium. That's good for us, because that means their 3-betting range is very tight, very tight enough to know that we're way behind. Um, so that gives us that confirmation. Now, this also confirms that we want to avoid getting in funky spots with mid-range hands. Like if we have like ace-10 suited, and then we raise it out, and then we open, and then we get 3-bet, like we'll fold that, but it's just to be aware of the play of the people at the table. Like I can maybe center, and like I think Bud would be able to 3-bet me light, maybe not with this stack. Bobby maybe, but I doubt a large chunk of the rest of this table. All right, so we got a blind versus blind. I have 10 king offsuit, which is a respectable hand for the big blind. I'm going to defend because I'm in position. So I'm going to call this on the defense. 7-8-7 is the flop. And we don't hit it, and we don't come anything near it, so we will let it go. Alright, we got 10s. Alright, Jerry shoves. We're going to ISO here. How dare you not hit your 2-outer. How dare you not hit your 2-outer? Alright, we got 3-10 suited. Gets full, so we're going to open this. Blinds are good now. Blinds are good. Good for the stealing. We're going to open this. 3-10 suited. We win the blinds. We're chipping up. 9,000 chips is good. Now we got a real hand, so that's good. We won the chips with a nothing hand. Now we have a hand. Now we're going to try to win the chips here again. And we're going to make the exact same bet. Make that 625. Gets through again. We'll show this time just to give them confidence. You guys made good folds. You guys are good poker players. 2 king offsuit. We're going to fold this. You guys are good poker players. Way to fold to my raises. Alright, ace, jack offsuit. I'm going to lay it down. Again, we're chipping up nicely. No reason to kind of muck up the momentum here. Stack sizes aren't that dramatically apart. Bud raises up, takes the pot down. I still 6-8 offsuit under the gun. We're gonna fold. I still have to make a highlight reel of the tournament where I beat Bud. The first tournament where I beat Bud heads up, but there's such good content in that tournament. So like me and him heads up battle was really amazing, really energetic, really fun. But the whole course of that final table, I must have 3-bet him like 4 times. Like he'd open from position, like he'd open like from the button or something, or from middle, like from middle or late position. And you know, I'd 3-bet him because I know Bud's capable of raising lights. Like I know how my brother is. I know what kind of poker player he is. I know damn well he's able to number one. I know he's willing to make the open light so he can try to steal the blinds. Number 2, I know he's capable of folding to the 3-bet. But he didn't do any of those things. Instead, I think every single time he flat called me, and every single time he just beat me. He just beat the brakes off me to win the pot. Like it was embarrassing how badly I got outplayed in some of these things. It just was comical. Alright, so Jay Easton called. We're just gonna like check it because that's what you do. She was I think it's a she. She. Definitely wasn't going anywhere with that 4-jack on the flop. Turn was a 4. It was probably good just to check it all the way down. We got 7-9 offsuit. There's a call in front of us. Not really interested in playing that hand. Especially not with the larger stack that's been betting pretty aggressively. I'd like to go into the hand with more of like I'm out of position, but I'd like to go with a more reasonable fighting hand than that. 4-10. We're gonna fold it. We've been stealing the blinds. We want to let them know we're capable of actually like not raising from the dealer, from the dealer spot. Excuse me. Oh man, that's all itchy. Excuse me. Damn. Bobby with the old pot size raise. Does he have a flush? Does he have a wheel? Does he have both? Does he have a straight flush? He has the king high flush. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. All right, we have Jack 5. We're in the cutoff here. Gonna raise this up. Raise this up with the intent of stealing. All right, so Bobby calls. He's done this multiple times, so we're gonna get cute with this one because remember we've c-bet every single time. Now we're gonna let Bobby know, hey, we're not bullshitting around here. We called his bet. Now we're following up. Ah, man, got us, got us. Yeah. It's kind of what happens when you start goofing around and.
You okay?
Yeah. That's what happens when you start goofing around and getting in spots where you raise the pot up, flop top pair. Our saving grace there, though, is that we don't get, we didn't get 2 out of line, which makes sense. Neither I nor Bobby, aren't interested in playing in an absurdly sized pot with just top pair. It is break time. Oh, you know what? Australia is running right now. Let's go watch it. Good way to burn 5 minutes of break time. tactics here. See how it looks on the old split. Okay, that doesn't look too terrible. Now let me put the program up on here.
Did you see my phone? I'm so dumb.
Alright, save. Okay. 7 minutes of the first race at 3. It's going to be this isn't going to, it's a hurdle race. Ooh, nice little jumper race. It's not going to go off by the time we restart, but we'll just take a look see. Maiden race on hurdles. Interesting. So a lot of these horses have wins lifetime, but those were on the flat, so they don't count. But the horse still did finish ahead of everybody, just not in a hurdle event. Let's see, the 2 is his first time on the jump. Interesting. See how he goes. And he's ran long distance before. But I don't know. I'm not interested in betting a first time jumper in a race like this. 3 horse. Interesting one, but it doesn't look nearly as ready as the 1 looks. They're both coming out of a race on the same day at the same track. The 1 finished second, and the 3's race back here. All right, 4. It's a bad race. Steve Pateman, who rode the horse in the last race, is probably one of the best jump riders in Australia. So it's probably a slightly negative. Yeah, we'll go back to that 5 scratch. Nothing of interest. I'll keep it up on the. Just want to test out how that screen looked. We'll go back to the poker. I'm going to put up the. I'll put this up on my other screen. You won't be able to see it, but I will. Blinds going up. Ace-5 offsuit. We're gonna put our hat into this ring. Ow, 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 my neck. Ow, ow, ow. We get to bet through. Chip up. Oh, we get moved to the other table. All right. I don't know. I'm kind of sad. I really like that other table. Now we have a gigantic stack to the left of us. That's no fun. All right, we have 8-9 suited. Our first hand here. We'll welcome ourselves at this table with a 2x raise. And we flop this straight. So what we're going to do is we're gonna bet. We're going to bet because we want to play big flop because we have the nuts. And then a heart flops. So, oh, God. Fucking garbage. This is absolute garbage. Fucking garbage. Fucking. Such fucking garbage. We'll shove. That's a good. This is a good steam position. Fucking flop a fucking straight. Flop a fucking straight, and I get the absolute worst possible card on the turn. God damn it. Fucking garbage. Absolute worst card. Mm. Alright, we have 10 queens suited, and we are in the small blind. We'll call it. Hopefully we get a good flop. Hopefully it's a better flop. That's funny. I was looking at the wrong race at Australia's. Whoops. That's funny. That's funny. Like, these aren't the same names. Alright, we got 210. Offsuit. Folding. Just trying to get a better handle on this table. Kind of salty. I had a really good handle on the previous table. And again moved. Those are the breaks. And then we play that fucking ball busting first hand. That yeah, just very, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Got 7 ace offsuit. This is a good jam location here. I don't know what Dan has. I don't care. I don't think he has anything too great. But jam here makes a lot of sense. Just, get a call. Oh, God. Fuck me. That's funny. Oh, my Lanta. That's funny. Oh, that's good stuff, man. Yep. $400. Oh man, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. We flop a boat with A7. The stream approves of that one. The stream approves. Now, listen, we got balls lucky. Now we have to take this luck and mold it into good things. Let's go back to that. Okay. We have sevens. It's a race. If we're jamming, we're calling quickly here with our sevens. And we're trying to fade a queen ace. Trying to do it, and we do. Good for us, good game. Suddenly we go from tiny stack to big stack, which we enjoy. It makes us very happy. So we went from being whatever, and now we're second in chips. So listen. All good, all positive vibes here. Positive vibes. Oh man, that was a delightful run of several hands. Excuse me, a little burp and a burp. Got 4 jack. In the big blind, gets called from the small blind. Sticks. We're going to go all in. We flop top pair. We're going to make Sticks play for Sticks' life, which is pin to 3s and an ace, and we're good. Good game. So now we went from, that's another good stack here. Now we have ace 8 suited. So we're getting good momentum here. We're going to call this. Fuck you guys. There we go. Ace high. Fuck that shit. That's ridiculous. 2 people with queen king. Embarrassing. And we take the chip lead on that absolute chicanery. Oh my god. Oh god, good stuff. Good stuff, stream. This is what you come here to watch, man. This is what you come here to watch. I'm excited. I mean, it couldn't get. I mean, the only way I win that with ace high is if they both show up with queen king. I mean, they could have anything. They have pocket 4s, pocket 5s, pocket 2s, anything. But they had nothing. They had nothing, and we take down a large pot with chicanery. Garbage, if you will. Alright, 3-4 suited. Foldola. Oh man. Good stuff. Oh man, get to rub the hands on that one. Let's get to the full screen up scene. Oh yeah. Bleh. Damn. Damn. There's a lot of hearts out there. A lot of hearts out there. Bobby has the 7. That'll do. That'll do. all in here. Six out suited will fold. Six eight, we're folding here as well. Gonna let our heart rate come down a little bit. Need to change the bands here. On the Fitbit. Four six also. Again, we're back to full table now, so we're reining it in a little bit again, getting our feet wet, if you will. But all right, got pocket sevens, good stuff here. We will leave this out. It's going to be 13.25. The idea being that Jay Easton will probably want to go all in here. Oh, we're not. Take the pot down. Sevens are good. Oh, sweetheart, can you do my pills over there, please? And just fill this with water from the bathroom. Right? Yeah, she's there. And then just fill this with water. Bathroom's fine. Thank you. 9-10 offsuit. There's a flat call under the gun. Always interesting. Then Bobby raised it up. Thank you.
Sorry, I barely gave you any water. I was looking for these. I saw in the package there was 6 of them. And I only had one.
You only had one. You know how many of those I had?
How many?
None. That's okay.
I was looking around in the package.
We'll share this. We'll share that later.
I was looking around in the package for that, and I was saying because I wanted another one. I thought Jake might have eaten them. Where'd you even find it? It was in the box?
It was in the box. It was there's a little white sheet thing. There's a little white paper, like a Hot Pocket thing in there. And I took it out, and it was inside there.
Oh my gosh.
It was the last thing in there.
I felt that, and I thought it was just like, oh, it was just
right.
levitated.
I know. That's how I knew. That's the only reason it was still there. Because you kids are probably just like, oh, it's just like a piece of thing in there. It's not even a candy bar. But it was a candy bar.
I had 8 more.
The last Twix.
I looked and there was a bunch of
We'll eat it. That's fine. We'll eat it.
Musketeers.
We'll eat it later.
Milky bars. Couple snaps. What's up, Petrie?
Ten Jack roll suit. We'll fold. Excuse me.
I open the windows. It's hot.
Yeah. That's fine.
Echo, what's the weather outside? Oh yay, it's 46 degrees. Echo, stop. Shut up.
Can you throw me a pair of one of the thicker socks? Not
Your
like
feet
the-
are cold? I'm in here.
I mean, they're not cold right now, but I can feel them getting cold.
What?
At least it didn't hit me in the face.
I was so close. I was trying to.
Thank you.
No, I'm kidding. I want to hit you in the face. Unless you're actually looking. Those big weird socks.
Oh man.
You know, I should have washed my bonnet. I feel kind of dumb now.
You can always just like throw it in with the drying clothes and it can get a little like.
Put a dry sheet in there. There's no looking at that.
Oh, we are down to 8. Big blind here. I have 2-9 offsuit.
I feel embarrassed of these braids.
Okay. Don't worry, you're not in the view of the camera.
I know. Even when I'm standing up, they don't see me. See, I'm a full frame. They can't see anything.
Alright, center goes all in.
What's you and against how many people?
There was 25 total, and we're down to 8.
I kind of want to shower. I'll close her in there for 20 minutes. They're all blind. Yeah, I just need to throw my crusty bonnet in there. So.
Oh. 3 X-rays under the gun from the second shortest stack here. It's folded around. I have nothing worth calling. Oh my god. It's an interesting flop. It's even more interesting when you flop a flush. trying to fade another club, but that's not happening. Rough. Rough, rough, rough. Not really. Not really rough. Alright, I have King Jack suited. We are going to raise this up. Alright, Bobby raising it up. I was going to open if Bobby didn't raise, but now it's an easy fold. Again, so we're paying 4. So this is very similar to last night. We're hoping we can really start to exert payout pressure when we get near the cash. Okay, alright, okay. Alright, I swear, I'm sitting up now, I'm sitting up, and I am laser focused on what's going on over there. Yeah. Alright, 2-6 suited. We'll let this one go. Okay, I got the aces. Are we? All right, so Bobby raises it up. So, so let's see. Does Bobby want to play? What does he want to do here? We're gonna make it. We'll make it 31.99. 31.99 to go. Yeah, I mean that's again. We can play the. We could call the flop. There's different ways to play that. Um, the hope. The hope is Bobby would have something good enough to shove on that bet because he knows just the dynamic. He knows I do want to 3-bet him fairly light, but it kind of sucks. Okay, Allie, just confirm you are in the BB and Wayne bet. Very similar. Just making sure we're all on the same page with what we're seeing. Oh God, what do we got here? All right, Jay Easton. Pretty ugly to find a fold there. Just ugly to find a fold. Gets folded to me, we're going to open the pot. Although Bobby may open the pot for us. It's kind of... Alright, he doesn't, so we are going to open this up. We are going to go Christopher Columbus, 1492. The biggest dirtbag in the history of dirtbags, Christopher Columbus. We get a call from the small blind. We won the button, so we've gotten that far. 1492. We get 2 quick checks, so we are going to bet our birthday, 1985. It's a good year. It's a good year. We get the Folderinos, and we take the pot down. We had a bunch of nothing at every single point during the hand, which is good for us. 3-9 offsuit. Jason will be all in. I would hope. I would hope they're not finding the fold button with a big blind and a half. Just really hoping, just hoping against hope that they're willing just to put their tournament life on the line for that single blind bet. 10 ace is a good hand, and that will take it down. And Jay Easton is out. We are down to 7 here. I have a respectable hand. Ace queen suited, under the gun +1. We are going to bet it here. Right here, bet it. Ali with a call behind. Center on the big blind. He's going to jam. Nope. Center will call. And we have top, so we will no doubtably bet this one here. 23-35. At this point, if someone's calling like queen 8 or 2 queen or something, very iffy. I mean, the only thing we're really losing to is a set here. I mean, if you're calling, I mean, if I get it in and I'm winning this hand, I mean, it's just lights out. Oh, oh no, my friend. Hold. Yes. Oh no, my friend. Don't overplay your top pair. Do not overplay that top pair. Again. It's a prime example. I mean, ugh. Yeah, I'm on the winning end of that. That's perfectly nice, but ugh, when we're this deep and there's players that aren't terrible, when someone opens the pot and you have Jack Queen, there is such possibility to get into trouble. You can get into trouble. Big trouble. Top pair can be beat, especially when you don't have top kicker. Like I said, the only thing I'm losing to there that could possibly be within the realm of possibility is sets. A set of, you know, whatever, a set of whatever was out there, a set of like 3 sets of 8s, whatever was out there. That's the only possibility I had to lose. Because yeah, it was like there's like 2-8 queen. And you got to be careful. Yeah, I'm thinking about it for a second. There's very little likelihood I'm folding, thinking a set is out there. But okay, we can put some serious pressure here on Bobby. He's 3 X's. We have 8s. We have a stack of chips, so we're gonna shove it. I mean, he must have something really good. He does. Man. Oh man. Oh. Yeah. I think you have to apply maximum pressure here. Pressure there, at least. But back to the hand. That's why it's before you act, before you decide, hey, Jack Queen is an okay hand, you have to take stock of the situation. Um, and you have to be careful, especially when you're playing top pair like that. You have to be, oh God. Wow. Bobby has a hammerlock on the hand, and center comes up and gets some chicanery. uh, but you have to take stock in that hand because you have to play it softer. You have to control the pot. That's why pot control is of such paramount importance, because if you get too loosey goosey with your top pair, you will you have you may just lose all your chips, and it's no fun to do that. All right, I have 5 queen. I raised it. I have absolutely nothing, but I would like to have my continuation bet go through. I bet it. Just a really nubby bet. Get shoved on. Oh God, probably gotta relax a little bit. We're still 2 from the money, but still a good opportunity to just pressure everybody. But yeah, I mean it's an easy spot to get into trouble with there. Because and the bet sizing is so important, because that raise was too big. You weren't going to get away from it. There was no chance. Oh God, this is. Oh man, wow. Bobby is hating things at the moment. Back to back beats as a huge favorite. But yeah, so you have to control the pot there in that position. Like I can't, based on the sizing of the bet, either I'm folding or I'm putting in the rest of the chips, and which is a good spot for me to be put in if you have a set. um, because then if I did have top pair, then the likelihood is I'm getting in the rest of it. But you can't. Top pair is such a difficult hand to like. I mean, rarely are you just trying to represent. Rarely are you attempting to represent a set. It's a very, the odds of you having a set so minimal compared to other hands. I mean, obviously it's possible, but it's not. It's not something that would be more prevalent than other hands. All right, I flopped second pair, which is good. And we take it down. We're back over 40K. Mind you, at one point we had over 50K, but gave Bobby some chips, and then Bobby lost some other just fugly all-ins against some people. We are going to try to steal here. We have 5-9 offsuit. we get a defense, and we are going to follow up with our. We're going to go bicentennial. We're going to go 1776. So we get a call, and I suspect we are possibly up against a flush draw again. This is dirty. I mean, you can't put me on anything. Can't put me on any of this. Any of that. That's just dirty. We have ace 9. We'll raise this up. I almost really like a shove here, just. We'll call this. We had the lead. We lost the lead. What can we do? Like I said, I'd probably like to shove there more, just equity-wise, but you can't be upset when you get all the cards in with the lead. All the money in with the lead. We'll fold. Bobby has less than 10 bigs, and all-ins are probable here with any ace and any Broadway. So we get a call on the button. Center with a raise. Ugh, ugh. Just not a fan of the flat and then fold. Two queen, folding. Getting all in here. Bobby's thinking about it. He folds. I fold. All right, ace 8 suited. We are open shoving here. Take down. All right, we got Jack Queen suited. Again, we're not really we're not interested in playing any action post flop here. We're really interested in just taking the blinds down, if at all possible. Again, payout pressure is very prevalent here. We got an ace. We have a raising hand. And we take the pot down again. And we go into break like that. Good stuff. Okay, I'm going to get a drink, some ice water. Feel warm and tingly. So I'm gonna get some water, and I'll be back in a little bit. All right, we are back. We got a minute to go. We're ready to try and close this out. Now, nah, see, it's too much fold equity on small raising. Plus, there's too many people to kind of soft play it. All right, 582. We're folding. Yeah, so I mean, basically, it's so much better just to open small and try to take down. Open small and just try to take down the pot early. But what we want to do, we definitely want to avoid complication post flop. So, like, let's say we have ace 8 and we decide to just flat call or min raise and kind of induce a call. It gets much more complicated on the post flop play than it needs to, because you flop an 8, whether it's middle pair or top pair, it's hard to tell whether that's worth a shit. And if you flop an ace, that's good, but the likelihood is you'll either not get play on it or you'll run smack into some other ace that may have you cooked. So 3-3-7 on the flop. Lead's good here. He calls. We improve our hand, but now we want to possibly get to a showdown. There we go. Good for us. Good for us. So, again, the blinds are so big at this point. Your post-flop play is going to be minimal, and you're really looking, if you have a showdownable, that's not a word, showdownable hand, you want to play it accordingly. We're just going to go for an outright blind steal here. And if he re-raises me, that's fine, because that's in a proper play. Okay, all right, okay. All right, Mike Center raises 2.5x. We'll see if the blinds have anything to offer here. The blind calls on the defend. Flop is a rainbow 8KK. Very interesting. Check by center. Another check. And there's a lead and a fold. So he has 3 jack offsuit. Oh man. Bobby raises it up. We're going to fold. Four 10 suited. We are going to make it 2,200 to go. Again, the whole point of these raises are to apply pressure and to steal the blinds. All right, we flop bottom pair, but this is like one of these super scary flops. With that 1456, we get a call. We're going to check it back. We're going to check it back. We'll fold here. Alright, two jack. It's a terrible size raise. We have 3-8 offsuits in the big blind, aka hashtag nothing. Center jams. We have nothing to call with. 4. 2-5 offsuit in the small blind. Kind of an interesting spot here. I can call 500 more. It's really weird. Flat call here is really weird. Yeah, flat, like calling folding is just the absolute worst thing to do by the small stack here. We'll fold. Little blind versus blind. Let the blinds kind of have a little exchange here. There's a shove and a call. Wow. There we go. There's a double up. 2 queen here. Fold. The small blind probably is getting it in soon, although they've shown a propensity for folding, call folding, which is just absolutely unacceptable. But all right, I got big slick, so we can make moves here. All right, Bobby opens. Last time he opened and we shoved, he had aces. I doubt he has aces. Oh my god. Really? God, it came right on out of my mouth. Like, I doubt he has aces here. Surprise! He has aces. God damn. What the fuck? This dude is losing fucking terribly bad luck pots to everybody else, but every time I have something, he wakes up with aces. Fucking ace king against aces. We're fucking 6-handed. It's just wacky. Wacky is what that is. It's just cooler town. We have 7 king suited. We'd like to see a flop here. Not as someone makes one of these stupid, like 7x or okay. Alright, so 3,600, we have 24. We're going full blown stop and go. So we call this, and if we hit the flop at all, we shove. That's a stop and go. We stopped, and then we go. Even though we don't hit the flop.
Dad, are you still live streaming?
Yeah.
I'll do it.
What a stupid bet. This bet is so stupid. This bet is so stupid sized. Like who makes a bet like that? God, whatever. Fucking probably had 10 king and shows up with runner. Ugh, doof. Whatever. Terrible play. I should have just went with the fucking stop and go. Should have just shoved any two on that flop. Of course, there's also the possibility he had a queen and I was just fucking absolutely murdered and I'm just fucking I'm just digging my grave, but oh God, now I gotta fucking play poker. Frustrating. Frustrating, I tell you. Alright, now we can't, again, we don't have a hand to raise because if the small stack's all in, we don't have we don't have good footing here. We got ace 4. We'll make it 25 to go. Small stack goes in. We'll call it off. Not a big deal. We got ace 4. They do not have an ace. We need the low cards. Two. Oh my God! Really? Okay. Good thing. Oh my God! This fucking final table, man. Oh God. Nothing ahead's getting there. Unless, of course, you have aces in your against ace king, and then you're fucking 2% from the get go. Puke. Oh God damn it. All right, we get a walk. We didn't want to walk. We had jack ace. We could have. We would like to reshove there, but. Oh God. All right, Bobby shoves. God, I swear, if this small stack keeps fucking calling folding, it's almost embarrassingly bad. Like, how many times do you have to do that before you realize that's a terrible idea? That's horrible. Don't do that anymore. Oh God. We're gonna raise this. We're gonna try to steal the blinds. A successful endeavor with our 3-4. That's good. Oh man. All right, we have ace 8. I mean, are they going to shove like king 9 on us again, and then we're gonna have the lead, and then we're just not going to be able to get it home, or what? What are we gonna do? Okay, we're gonna get the fold. Good. Good. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. I tell you, man. I fucking tell you. Ace 4 suited. I'm sure someone's going to call me eventually. Like, oh, this guy's raising every hand. A shove. Fucking shows up with 10s. Get the fuck out of here. Come on. Spade? God damn it. Fuck, man. God. Fucking unbelievable, man. Fucking disrespect here. Fucking fine. Whatever. God. Oh, man. Oh. Give me a fucking 7. All right, we're not done yet. We're not, in spite of ourselves, we're not fucking done yet. God. Mm. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let me fucking post that. Where's my unbelievable? Where's my unbelievable thing? Fold. God damn it. Fucking unbelievable. And my other one. Apo fucking plectic. God. Salty. Salty fucking McGee over here. Ugh. Okay. Alright, time to reset. Time to reshove here. 4,900. Jack Queen. You get a call. 6 ace. Can we get a fucking... Can we hit against this fucking guy? Can we hit against this guy? Can we hold it? Fuck yeah. Fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. God damn it. Fuck this shit. God. Fuck. Oh. God. Salty. Fucking salty over here. Oh, God. I got Jack 8 suited. I don't want to give this guy the pleasure of fucking showing up with something and beating me. Fucking absolute fucking trash. All right, we got three queen. We're shoving it. We're running into 10 ace. Oh yeah, we're fucking. We've already lost the fucking hand. Give me another 3 or a queen. Fucking shit. Fucking garbage. God, a fucking joke. So fucking pissed. So fucking pissed. Oh my god. I'm still trying to figure out how this MK guy is just still has chips. I mean, if the name of the game was dwindling to like 3 big blinds and then doubling up, I mean, just fucking and then another double up. Like, wow. This would have been a much easier game if people actually got eliminated when they were fucking way behind. Oh man, including me. I was behind ace 7 against ace 10. Oh god. Oh man. So salty. Oh. Man. Oh. Oh. Deep breath. Got a shove from center. Wayne with the call. And center is far behind. No. Oh god. Fucking shit. Fucking shit. Ugh. Bobby's all in. Gets it through. Oh, God, man, fucking. Oh, man. All right, we see a flop. And then we see a quick fold, a bet and a fold. Oh, man. Not a lot to commentate on, which I guess was good because I was just stewing the whole time about losing. Bobby with the shove, Wayne with the fold. I say if this gets to the next break, I will no longer be commentating after that. There's just not a lot going on here. I mean, Bobby should definitely be any any move he's making should be shoved because he's got less than 10 bigs. But I mean, the other two stacks have no reason not to be opening more often. At least min raising. Like I like even like really short hand like this. Min raising is perfectly fine. Right? Min raising and playing post flop. Interesting. There's some action here. Interesting board on a blind versus blind. All right, Bobby with a shove, and there's a call. Oh, there you go. Bobby doubles up. That's a big double up. Gives him just a little more room on the maneuver front. A little more room on the maneuvering front. Ooh, Bobby raises up and then gets a jam. Three to the flop here. chip leader chipping up just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Interesting flop here. Interesting flop. Bobby with the shove. I think Bobby can sneak in some value um, by min raising or like 2.1x raising when he's on the button and the other guys are on the big blind. I am the small blind and the big blind. Um, I think more often than not, especially if he opens it with a raise, he'll be able to, at worst, um, like steal the blind, right? Steal the blinds, or I mean, at worst, like get called and likely steal the blinds. And considering he's in position, I think he'd be. I mean, I think he's one of the better. I think he's probably the best player out of these three. So I think it would be worth opening under the as on the button and then playing it out if there's a call of some sort. And that's a really tight fold there. I mean, you need to call aces here. Himmler has shown he's more than willing to get it in with like Broadway, so um, you can't fold an ace. You can't fold ace six three handed. Not when you're a chip leader. I mean, the other stacks are the ones feeling pressure. If you're folding ace six, you're not. You're not withstanding the heat like you need to be. Especially, especially if you raise. Like if you're raising, then like you need to be ready to get it in on a re-raise. Like that's just if you're iffy about your ace, then you just need to shove and apply all the pressure. Um, you give somebody the illusion of equity, and they may just snatch it from you. But again, like I mean, it's not like Himmler has shown like out and out goods on like some of these calls or these shoves he's making. So, um, I mean, I think it's a little foolish to. to respect that shove there. And with that said, the way these guys are just chipping down, um, without really applying pressure to anybody in particular. I mean, honestly, Wayne probably has every right to just fold there and just collect, keep on collecting. Let the other guys kind of just dwindle, and then he just chips up little by little, and by the time it's ready for heads up or three-way, um, I mean, by the time the smaller stacks eliminate each other, um, you know, the heads up lead is just going to be wide. That's why I think as like as smaller stack, um, you have to show interest other than straight push shove here. Like like how bad are your heads up and all in ranges? When you think 9-10 suited, yes, on a shove. Ace-6, no on a shove. That's not how. It's not really how you're supposed to value hands. When it's short-handed, I mean, yeah, that's kind of wonky. All right, can Bobby come from behind and take this down? Bobby doesn't have much choice now. It's shovenomics. Shovenomics here. Oh man. Wow, that's a lot of 2-7 action. It's comical. So many 2-7s. That's crazy. Alright, Bobby's all in. Queen 8 suited. Ooh, that's a good flop for Queen 8 suited. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yikers. Yikes. And that is the end of the stream. Oh, my God. I'm like the Dead Sea over here. I'm still salty. That's okay. We've been running way over expectation at the final table in shorthanded. Um, that is absolutely the truth. So, I mean, we're due to just, not win. I mean, we can't win them all. We can't win them all. But yeah, it's really just. I mean, anyone would tell you, how frustrating it is when, I had a big chip lead, and I just could not parlay that into a win or an in the money finish. Got a couple bad breaks, did maybe some bad moves in some spots, but that's how it goes. Hope you enjoyed this stream. It was a nice long one again. If you're watching out there, please follow, click the heart, much appreciated. And we'll probably be playing tomorrow. So I will see you till next time. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you later.